10 more strange, unexplained internet videos. Number 10. Lost in Paris catacombs. With its 200 miles in labyrinthine tunnels, the underground catacombs of Paris are a hotspot for subterranean tourists. And it's not hard to see why. The masses of century-old skeletons make for quite the spooky setting. But once you traverse past the limits of the areas open to the public, it goes far beyond spooky. There's a very real risk that you could end up lost for days, weeks, perhaps even forever. That could very well be the case in this video, which was recovered from the catacombs, presumably in the late 90s. It shows someone making their way through tunnel after tunnel with no apparent sense of direction, becoming increasingly agitated and eventually dropping their camera in a puddle and running into the distance. But that's pretty much all we know. The video was first aired on TV in 2000 and then made its way to YouTube years later, but no one has ever identified the subject. We don't even know what made them so jittery, whether they survived, or if it was even real. Number 9. Petscop. One of the most popular and lucrative trends on YouTube is the Let's Play video game series. Content quality and variety is usually pretty dependent on the game being played, but one of the most intriguing series on the site follows a game that doesn't even seem to exist. In the Petscop series, a boy named Paul plays through the 1997 PlayStation 1 game of the same name. Developed by Garalina, who seemingly have no documented existence, the game follows a green-skinned avatar through a polygonal world collecting creatures called pets, at least at first. Paul vaguely references the game coming into his possession mysteriously with a note containing a cheat code that once entered unlocks a series of dark levels. These levels get increasingly more creepy, including one which allows Paul to type questions. When he does so, someone answers. Turn PlayStation off, Marvin picks up tool, hurts me when PlayStation on. Starting in 2017, Petscop videos continue to be posted to this day, expanding the disturbing narrative, which is all updated on a dedicated fan wiki. It's assumed that the story and game are created by the uploader as part of an alternate reality game, but the game itself seems far too advanced for a simple prank, and Paul has never confirmed as much. Number 8. Video dating tape. To today's Tinder generation, the idea of VHS dating probably seems scary enough, but in the 80s and 90s, taping your dating profile was the only option for some lonely hearts. One relic of this bygone era of dating appeared to find its way to YouTube in 2017, but takes an even creepier tone than you'd expect from the format. The uploader, Balaclava Girl 95, claims in the description that they found the video inside a VCR player that they bought at a car boot sale and features a man named Tony. It starts normally enough, with Tony introducing himself, but after the second take, the 36-year-old photographer and part-time adventurer gets interrupted by a noise off-screen, which soon becomes recognisable as a woman crying. She bangs on the door and Tony shouts at her to shut up, before the video cuts to an old Toys R Us commercial. The video gets weirder until Tony asks interested women to send their photo and location to his work address, so he can find someone to spend the rest of their life with. The address doesn't seem to exist and the video could well be the work of a filmmaker, but no one has yet taken credit for Tony's unenticing video profile. Number 7. Murder at Sea. Often, the content of these strange, unexplained videos is made up of confusing head-scratchers and esoteric references, but very rarely actual real-world criminal mysteries. But that's absolutely the case for this video, which surfaced in 2015 and only came into public knowledge because it was found on a phone left in a taxi and uploaded online. The shocking footage shows a group of men on a boat in international waters when a raft approaches. The 4 people on that raft are then swiftly shot dead. Horrific as that is, what makes it such a mystery is that maritime law has meant no police investigation has taken place. That's despite the fact there were dozens of witnesses on board, none of whom reported it. There are plenty of theories here, for example that the raft was full of pirates, or that it was a hit related to organised crime, but that's just conjecture. In fact, it's such a horrific and intriguing story that National Geographic made a documentary series attempting to get to the bottom of it. Didn't seem to go that well though. Number 6. Sad Satan. Back in 2015, a Let's Play video emerged on the obscure Horror Corner channel of a game called Sad Satan, supposedly downloaded off the dark web. It was a mishmash of fuzzy black and white visuals, disturbing sounds, and allusions to figures like Charles Manson and infamous British predator Jimmy Savile. Obscure Horror Corner eventually released a link to the game, but that turned out to be false, which he claimed was to protect people from the game's illegal content. But that only appeared to spur on some of the less upstanding fans of the video, since a clone was then uploaded to Reddit claiming to be the real thing. That clone turned out to be full of highly illegal material, along with some seriously nasty malware. A clean version of the clone was then made to try and stop the spread of what was dubbed the Bad Sad Satan. But despite all of that, the origins of the original video are still unknown. Did Sad Satan really come from the dark web? Did the Obscure Horror Corner make up the backstory to drum up hype? Jury's out, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Number 5. Clip 094. As you probably already realised, a lot of the mysterious content on YouTube has a similar theme. It's black and white, it's fuzzy, and it makes use of a lot of clashing, seemingly unrelated footage to really creep you out. Clip 94 follows that same mould, but the anonymous YouTube video's follow-up, creatively titled Clip 95, makes much more of the creepy conventions. The second video features a wheel of numbers and letters that savvy viewers managed to decipher into hexadecimal code. That code then led viewers to a download link for a Half-Life 2 custom map, where the player is forcibly stuck in place in a dingy dwelling, only to be subject to a screamer if they somehow do escape. Following that, a second map was released, featuring a series of rumbling, inescapable air vents filled with unsightly, deformed creatures. But despite all that, there's still the question of what any of this means and who created the maps in the videos, and so far, we're not even close to knowing. Number 4. Pennhurst found footage. In 1999, the Blair Witch Project revolutionized cinema with its found footage horror marketed as the real article, sending Fright fans into a frenzy the world over. That obviously led to a wave of imitators, from the Paranormal Activity franchise to the editing suites of film students in basically any college. But then there's the Pennhurst found footage. This footage purports to show a pair of students exploring the now disused Pennhurst Mental Hospital in 2008, who were supposedly never seen again. Spooky. But seriously, this footage gained a bit of a cult following online among people who believed it could very well be real. That's largely because the footage doesn't try to scare you with convenient flickers of ghosts in the background or oddly cinematic pacing. Instead, we just see the kids wandering around this inherently unsettling abandoned hospital with a few cuts here or there. But skeptics haven't been convinced, since there doesn't appear to be any record of students disappearing from that area around that time. Could be a gap in the records, could be a conspiracy, could be a hoax. Number 3. Unfavorable Semicircle. With a lot of online mysteries, there tends to be a handful of posts that internet sleuths pore over in the hopes of extracting some kind of hidden message or cryptic themes. That isn't really the case here, but not for want of trying. It's just that there's so much to investigate that it's pretty much impossible to attempt. Beginning in April of 2015, the project known as Unfavorable Semicircle uploaded more than 1,300 videos in just one day. All in all, more than 10,000 were published, showing as much as 11 hours of abstract visuals and distorted audio. The clips went mostly unnoticed to begin with, until they found their way to Reddit, where the intrigue exploded and led to YouTube deleting the entire channel. We're actually now on the third iteration of this project, and puzzle solvers are still none the wiser as to what's actually going on, despite their best efforts. Theories include outsider art, an alternate reality game, and pen testing, which is a simulated cyber attack. But there's about as much proof as there is for Ted Cruz as the Zodiac Killer. Number 2. 132 insert 132. Between September 2015 and October 2016, 10 videos were uploaded to the 132 insert 132 YouTube channel, each equally ambiguous and twice as unsettling as the last. With names like Cancer, After Death, and For Mummy, the black and white videos document a series of strange occurrences. From creepy dolls and what appears to be the same black magic symbols that decorated the forest of the Blair Witch, to people in masks being attacked in various brutal fashions. The videos come complete with jarring cuts, indecipherable sounds, and other references to famous horror films like The Shining's Red Rum scene. This, and some of the schlocky costumes, often make the videos look more like a student horror film than the video diary of a murderous cult. But the ambiguous titles and the fact that no one has claimed authorship yet offers a degree of credibility. With numerous lifeless bodies and piles of skulls, the videos appear to document the work of a killer, fictional or otherwise. But the true meaning of the disturbing content has never been discerned, and since the user stopped uploading 2 years ago, it seems destined not to be. Number 1. I feel fantastic. In 2009, the YouTube channel Creepyblog uploaded the video I Feel Fantastic, which quickly gave the exact opposite emotion to the countless viewers that flocked to it. The low-quality clip focuses on a female robot singing the words I feel fantastic to a haunting melody, accompanied by jerking head and arm movements. The video briefly cuts the footage of what appears to be a back garden, and then back to the auto-tuned automaton. The footage was traced back to the now-defunct website of John Bergeron, who supposedly made the doll, Tara, in a $2,000 home project. Bergeron claims he made Tara to perform songs that he wrote, 3 of which he was selling on the site, with aspirations of Tara taking to the stage for live performances. But anyone who's ever heard actual music is pretty skeptical of this claim. Instead, the most famous of the internet's abounding theories is that Tara was created by a serial killer, who dressed her in the clothes of his victims. The lyrics supposedly arose from the man's disturbance at his victims' screams, and the attempts to rewrite the script to make them say what he wished they had at the time. Probably complete nonsense, but creepy nonetheless. And as for why I Feel Fantastic was even made in the first place, we still don't know. So that was 10 more strange, unexplained internet videos. Have we missed any out, and which one creeped you out the most? Do you have an explanation for any of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, subscribe to All Time Thames if you haven't done so already, give this video a like, and click on the little bell down there so YouTube can let you know once we've made new videos. Speaking of videos, there's one up there right now, give it a watch.